It takes 3 to 5 years to build a business. If you've been in business longer than 5 years and you're not making it, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. And I'll tell you what it is.
Welcome to the Keri Murphy Show. Here we go. We're on the Keri Murphy Show. Yeah.
Okay, when it came to choosing my premier guest for the Keri Murphy Show, I wanted someone that truly embodied the things I always talk about, which is confidence, clarity, and conviction. And this woman, I swear to God, she could put her confidence, clarity, and conviction in a bottle and sell it and make millions. Oh, wait, she already has. Please welcome to the Keri Murphy Show, Shanda Sumpter. Welcome to the show,
Oh, so
Shanda.
good to be here.
You are someone I watch and I'm like, where does she get your energy? And you have such what's the word I'm looking for? Can I say conviction, but just...
Yeah, it's conviction.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe everything I say, you know, so yeah.
And I love it. But it comes through everything that you do. You've built an extraordinary business. You're an extraordinary human from what I know.
Thank you.
And you just had a baby. So before we go into all of that, I know, and look at her. And okay. So how long have you been an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I was an entrepreneur even when I was in corporate America.
Yeah.
Because when I was in corporate America, I would look at my boss and I would think, well, how can I serve my boss and make sure that they got their goals? And so I think a definition of an entrepreneur is like you look at what the target is, and it doesn't matter how you get there, you're going to find a way to pivot to get there.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, but I started getting senior roles when I was mid-20s, and then I branched off, 16, 17 years ago into entrepreneurship.
And a lot has changed.
Yeah, a ton has changed.
A ton has changed. We've been around for a minute. What season are you in right now with your business and your life? Like if you could, because I know
I feel like I'm just getting started.
Right?
I feel like I'm just
and we're
getting
both
started.
50.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I feel that too, actually.
Yeah.
How has the last couple years been for you?
Tough, actually.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And I think it's important we talk about that.
Yeah. And I don't think, I'm starting to see some people start to talk about it, which is really nice. What's sad is that none of us really talked about it when we were going through it.
I know. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing. Like entrepreneurship can be lonely because of us, not because of the landscape of entrepreneurship. But it was tough. I mean, I exploded financially. Like we went and we didn't overextend ourselves, but we invested and did all the right things. And
as you should when you're growing.
Exactly.
Right?
But living in California, we still had a big tax bill. And then I thought I need to hire even better talent to run my company for me, and just made some big mistakes that I think a lot of entrepreneurs make if they're lucky enough or they work hard enough to hit certain thresholds, you will make some leadership decisions that could really hurt. So marketing's never stopped working. Sales has never stopped working. But running the company, when I handed the reins over, we lost like $7 million in just a matter of a few months, and then put the company in debt. And we were doing $1 million in a couple weeks, and I would turn around, we'd be 40% negative.
Thank you for sharing that. This wasn't like part of my questions, but the fact that you brought this up because I experienced something very similar.
Yeah.
Where I think you're kind of told to extricate yourself out of your business. Don't be the ringmaster, which I agree, right? Team is everything.
Everybody wants to outsource you away from your customers and clients.
Exactly. And I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And had similar results because for me, culture changed.
Yeah.
The people that were on my team were like, well, I came for like what you brought and now you're not there. And it just, the customers, the clients.
Yeah. All of that. It's
and the
funny
thing is,
you say
no
that.
one saw this outwardly, right? But inward, you just felt like there was a string that was just unraveling.
Yeah. I lost authority with my community.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in it as much. And so now I just launched probably one of our best offers ever, where I gave people access to me every single week. And every 8-figure, 9-figure business owner that I know is like, why would you ever do that? And I'm like, because community is everything.
Yes.
And I got into the game to be with people. And when you go through a hard time, if I would have been closer to my community, I would be willing to bet I could have leaned on them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But as the unraveling was happening, I was getting outsourced, like save you, right? Save you from all these things that you do. And it's like the thing I did and spent most of my time on was being with people and hearing what they were struggling with
And
then
what they
solving
needed and what
those
they wanted.
problems.
Yeah.
And that's entrepreneurship.
Right.
So yeah, big lesson. I'll never do it again. I actually wanted to, it would have been easier to close my business than to pull ourselves out. I didn't pull a paycheck for almost 3 years,
Wow.
injected hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So why did you want to save it instead of just starting over?
Because I wanted the lesson. And that's where I think there's a difference between entrepreneurship. And when I say the lesson, I actually want the wisdom.
Yeah, right.
Because there's so much more in me. And I'm just like, if I'm going to be the best leader I can be for my family, for my kids, for the people that I serve, I got to be able to walk through the hard times. And that was the hardest time I've ever walked through.
Yeah.
And I'm through.
I still standing. Right?
Yes.
I mean, gosh, you just go all the cliches. I'm still standing. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But man, Shanda, someone needs to hear that today.
Yeah.
That, you know what, you can look at people online and it just, this is what we're not seeing. And yet I think more of us are talking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be talking a lot about it too. And I feel like, gosh, if we can all just share that not every day is rainbows and lollipops and that we do make sometimes not bad decisions. We make decisions that help us make different decisions in the future.
Well, and if we asked each other, if we asked up a little bit more, there's sometimes
Right.
questions
So
are not
true.
intuitive.
Right.
So it wasn't intuitive for me to ask. I talked about my problems and people would say, you need a new COO or you need this or you need that. But I didn't actually vet out what are some of the pitfalls? You know what I mean? That
Yes.
can happen with those things. And Sarah Blakely from Spanx is a huge inspiration to me.
Yeah, I love her too.
And I saw her on the beach in Puerto Rico. We have a place in Puerto Rico. And she's like, how's your business going? I'm like, I hate being a CEO. I hate it. I want a CEO. And she's like, why? And I said, and this is what I love, when you have a strong coach or strong leaders around you, they just get to the point.
Right.
And she's a very loving person. But I said, I'm just in the weeds. And she said, well, then you're doing CEO wrong. You should only ever talk to 2 people at a time. You should never be talking to more people in the company when you get to that size. And I wasn't doing that. I was talking to everybody in the company. I was in everybody's business. I hadn't even read any books on being a CEO. I read 1 million books, took 1 million masterminds about being a great
I
marketer.
can sell, I can market, I can build anything, but running the business is different.
It is different.
And most of us, Shanda, we start our businesses because we have a passion to serve. We feel like we can do something. But so many of us are like technicians trying to grow the business.
Yeah.
And then you reach a level that you have reached and it's just a knowledge cap, right? Like, if I knew better, I'd do better.
It's ignorance.
Yeah.
It's ignorance. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been an interesting year. And yet I'm really excited about this next year. And you, beautiful woman of Shanda here, 50 and had a baby last year. So what was that like?
Yeah. So
for you? Because I know I had Landon at 45 and I think even my makeup artist today, she's 31 and she's like, I haven't had any kids yet. And I'm like, girl, you have time. You're a baby. You have time. But it was just such a great example of the pressure we put on ourselves to have certain things at a certain time.
Society too. I felt embarrassed. I felt parts of it. I felt embarrassed. When I was pregnant, I was like,
did you really?
Oh, yeah. It's so good. Thank God for entrepreneurship. Thank God for personal development. And thank God for God.
Right.
Because, I think, don't make millions because of the money, because that's not the best part. It's who you become.
It's so true.
Which is why I didn't step off.
For me, it's
of the
about the people too.
Yeah,
so much.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. But so I knew it. I'd feel it. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm 49 years old and I'm pregnant. People are going to think I'm crazy. So then, of course, here's the great thing about AI. Your phone's listening to you. So is your TV. So is everything. And so all of a sudden I start getting when I started vocalizing it, I started to get these messages where I saw one of the guys from Shark Tank, had his babies in his mid and late 50s. And then, Tony Robbins and his wife had another baby late. And then Dean Graziosi, and it was like, I'm going back in. Lisa wants 5, and I'm sitting there going, okay, why is it acceptable for a man and not a woman? And why do I feel shame on something I wanted so bad? And the truth is my husband looks at me and goes, he said this morning. He said, thank you for like not giving up.
Aw.
You know what I mean? And the amount of people who come up to me and they're like, gosh, you really show us that like everything's possible. And I think if I could rebrand my whole company all over again, I'd probably just say there's always a way.
Yeah.
Like there's always a way. And so I didn't do it natural. I did IVF. I probably bought 3 Lamborghinis. You know what I mean? And
that baby is worth so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Happiest baby alive. And I cried in my car, you know, when I had to get a DNC and a baby didn't make it. And, you know, I tried every route. So here's the lesson. Not only is everything possible, but I wish I would have done it faster.
What do you mean?
Every time you second guess and change a direction, you slow yourself down. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it in my personal life. I've seen it in my business. I've seen it everywhere. Like right now I'm debating shutting down everything but one product in my company because when I do the performance on it, it does 40 million and I don't care.
Like that's not so bad.
I don't care about having a life because my life is the life. Like I do take weekends off. I do take the last week of the month off. I do take, you know, most of December off. I take like 2.5, 3 weeks of December off. So it works out to be about 5 months a year I take off. But like, I just sat there the other day and I was like, why do I take off so much time? Like I never thought about like, I think I did that to save myself from being a basket case because I didn't handle pressure well. Mm-hmm. But now I handle pressure well. And what a privilege it is to work. I don't mean work and not be with your kids. I don't mean work and not take vacations. I mean you have a lot more freedom when you have a ton of money in the bank. Yeah. And you can create a lot more good in the world. Like if I didn't have a ton of money in the bank, when I didn't pull a paycheck for 3 years, I mean, I bought a $7 million house. I kept going. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like nothing got smaller, it got bigger.
Right. That's such a great lesson. So what would you say to someone here who is like stuck in the pause, right? It can be so hard because where there's no movement, you can't create. And if you're constantly second guessing or you're not sure, because there's so many people right now too, Shanda, that are reinventing and they're like thinking of their next thing. And the landscape right now is making people think about their jobs and if they will have one and what's next for them. So what advice would you give someone who is kind of in the same place you are where it's like, how do I make a decision quicker? I think that's for so many of us.
It's tough because your energy's down. Yeah. You have to get your energy up. So, you know, there's lots of hacks to do that. I mean, just listen to Tony Robbins' Emotional State. But the truth is that if you can believe this, like if you could just adopt this, it is easier to make money than save money. And when you're not
talk to us about that.
Yeah, if you're not making enough, you're looking at how do you cut costs and how do you save everything. And I'm not saying that that's not it's good to look at your expenses. It's good to know your numbers. I mean, we took our expenses down $350,000 a month. It's good to look at expenses.
We took ours down a lot too because you also realize that you're just bloated sometimes.
I had so many technologies we weren't using.
I did too. My tech stack, I was like, what? But anyway, back to the decision. Yeah.
So it's easier to make money than save money. And so, you know, I think when I ran a challenge online and generated millions of dollars in like cash in the door in a very short period of time, and I was negative from that a couple weeks later, like, that scared me a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, for the first time I thought, did I lose it? Like you don't rationally think. So here's what I'll say is you've got to get back into running campaigns. If a campaign doesn't work, what do? You run another one. If a campaign doesn't work, you run another one, right? You run a webinar, you run a pop-up Zoom, you run a challenge, you run an event. The more you can put on the table, the more you can put in your calendar, the better. Mm-hmm. And the more you stack them, like if you have a challenge and a webinar like in 1 month, right? Like, and it's every month like that, or a 2-week challenge every single month. It's like, think campaign building. Yeah. You can fail them all and generate so much money. And when you get that, and you don't have time to worry about what's not working because you're so busy serving. Yeah. And you get paid for serving. So I would tell anybody who's in a rut right now is to, talk about the rut. Like write about the problems, write down the problems you're having, and just what advice would you give somebody else, and go launch a campaign on that and help them because you're so connected to the emotional pain and what you're thinking behind closed doors, that's the best marketing on the planet. Right. And you're going to get yourself out because money does. I mean, it's so funny. Money does make you happy. Yes, it does. Yes,
well,
it does.
makes things a whole lot easier. That's for damn sure.
It does because it feels you have a big chunk of change come in and you're like,
okay, but Shanda, let's talk about this because we're online entrepreneurs. We do the launches, the webinars, the things. And there are seasons, at least that I experience, where what I am doing is not yielding the results that I want.
Yeah, you gotta change your positioning.
Saying multiple campaigns, and I'm saying this like paraphrasing, like don't put all your eggs in one launch basket. And I feel like a lot of us did that over the years because it was working so well. But you have to, I think we're in a place right now where you have to innovate and iterate and figure out what is the pain? What are people looking for? Because people are hungry, but you might need to say, hey, I'm going to do it in these different ways, not just this one thing. And I feel like there's coaches that are like, just do this one thing.
Yeah.
And
so all the pressure on a launch was the old way of teaching marketing. And some people are still doing it, but here's why that doesn't work. The pressure.
It has to.
And it's the same reason why you can't get out of a rut. Okay. You can't get out of a rut because the pressure is taking your emotions down. So I call this stacking, right? So I'll tell clients, they think I'm nuts. So they'll be like, Shanda, I had a client come to me. I'm so exhausted. I'm like, great. Let's put more on your plate. She's like, are you not hearing me? I'm not sure I can coach with you. Like you don't get me. I'm like, if you needed somebody to get you, you would just stay exactly where you're at because we are creatures that want to be comfortable in some way.
Yes.
Right. And so when someone stretches you, like think about it, if you ever had a coach or mentor you're a little scared to reach out to, like I have one right now that I just started reaching out to. It's actually one of the sharks. And so I just started reaching out to him because I'm like, I'm kind of a little shy, nervous, like, can I step up to what he'd asked me to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just feel like I'm going to find a way to convince this guy.
I call that raising the bar, right? And it's that growth edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tell my clients, and I said this during COVID, this got created during COVID. It's like, what's the best thing I can do when people are in a rut in COVID when the world shut down? And I said, they're not making enough offers. And I asked them, do you think you're making enough offers? And they all said yes. And I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way because I didn't think about it as logical as you're thinking about it. You've got a great mind, which is like, put all the eggs in that basket of that launch. I just was like, well, what's your perception of enough offers? Because enough offers, like you're making offers every week.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people have been told that's wrong. And it's not.
Right.
It's not wrong. It is not wrong.
Like I don't want to oversell.
Yeah. So, okay. So yesterday I created an offer in an hour and a half and I threw it out. And put
it out to your list.
I just put it out. And, immediately we had 25 people buy immediately and then it just keeps going. Then, I might do a pop-up Zoom on like tomorrow or if I feel up to it Saturday. I don't even need my team.
Yeah. So you don't have everything. Here's what I love about this. You don't have everything planned out 90 days in advance. Like
I do and I don't. Right.
You do, but you're also looking at what else could I do? Or what do I feel like doing? Or what's inspiring me right now?
How can I give?
Yeah.
Right. So everything you see, positioning is what makes money. And so that's because everything is leadership. So when we're in a rut, we just don't feel like looking at other people because we're kind of licking our own wounds. We're scared. Right. And so, when I think about what people are facing right now, it takes 3 to 5 years to build a business. If you've been in business longer than 5 years and you're not making it, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what it is. It's not your talents. It's probably not even your marketing. It's probably your speed. And if you just committed that you would do a pop-up Zoom class or talk or fireside chat about different topics once or twice a week and just make yourself available to even hang out on Zoom and answer questions, and you could make offers because everybody knows when they got a client sitting in front of them, it's like, we should work together. Like I could help you do XYZ. You want to have a conversation about it? Like it can be that easy. Yeah. Here's my calendar link. Here's my email.
Shanda, I love this conversation so much because, I would say it's positioning and visibility. And I'm hearing from you and learning from you too, that you got to change up the offer. You got to meet the audience where they're at. You have to, not everything has to be perfectly curated and
No.
launched and ads and all the things. And I think that's what people see and that's what people feel. And you're like, hey, just have a pop-up Zoom and invite people to be on the call with you.
And if nothing else, that's gonna give you the discipline of speed.
Yeah.
And right now, AI is coming in like
So
a freight
fast.
train.
Yeah.
Right? Like before we jumped in here, I was like, hey, I saw you doing AI. And you're like, you too, but like I like the real version of you better. And I'm like, yeah, but my analytics show that people like the AI version better. And then I used AI to boost my rankings, and then I put me back in the game. But there's me on my pages that people don't know are not me. And it's wild. Like
Yeah.
it is so wild, Keri. Like I'm just sitting there going, oh my gosh, like the idea of freedom is so big right now, because now we can give somebody a script on their product. You could take working scripts, go to ChatGPT and put your industry and somebody else's working scripts and put it into a talking AI and crush it. For how long? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how long until we'll have to evolve to the next level of that.
I hear you. And maybe it's just because I have been teaching video for so long. I feel like the perfect stuff, maybe I just know, and I've taught it for so long that I'm like, I want the little idiosyncrasies,
Yeah,
the
I
little
get it.
things that I'm like, ooh, I know. I don't know, since everyone's talking about trust, I don't know, Shanda. I think we're going into the great abyss, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, Suzanne Evans told me when COVID hit that she would never go to virtual events. And now she says she'll never go back to live events. And for those of you who don't know who she is, she's the event
Huge
girl.
live events.
Like she just
Yeah.
loves the events, right? And so,
Yeah,
you know,
never say never. And by the way, you have to adapt and see, like you said.
we can't be
like-
the fax machine.
Yeah.
We can't be the fax. And I'm not saying you are, because, you know,
Right.
Gary Vee is saying the next best explosion in businesses is going to be like people hiring themselves out to go walking with people. And he's usually pretty on point.
Yeah.
So you could be right. Like, don't lose the edge of the real
I'm
video.
just saying, like, just don't lose who you are, because it's going to be the only thing that makes you different than anyone else. If everyone can clone, everyone can script, everyone can
I
create.
think you're giving people too much credit because they don't move. We're going back to speed.
Yeah.
Like, and so they don't move. And so if you don't move this time in history, right now we have about 4 months before the entire banking system shifts over. So, like, this is legit. Like,
Yeah, I feel you. It's almost like the .com. Like when, all that was happening, you're going to have, businesses that fall, businesses that rise.
This is even bigger because in America and Canada, and Canada's socialism, so there's a lot of debate there. But the free world that we see in America is changing significantly. And yeah, I mean, listen, there's always going to be people who pivot and they make it, and they're going to be taking care of the people who don't.
Yeah.
And my question to people right now is, do you want to be the one being taken care of, or do you want to be the one taking care of other people?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like it when somebody tells me what I can and can't do, or if I have to ask you for money.
Right.
And that feels really, really tough. And so the American dollar is going to get suppressed as the printing machines have gone on, and then it's going to explode. And the only reason why I know that is we partnered with a large hedge fund to train our clients on crypto, stocks, and money, because I'm very clear that I can teach campaigns to fund those things. But the multiplication of the markets, you don't need your stockbroker anymore. In fact, they don't even understand crypto. Okay. I learned how to enter.
I need to hire you for crypto because it really is something that I'm so interested in, but maybe.
It took a week and a half for me to figure out how to enter a trade. I took $20,000 and made $30,000 in the first month profit. Now, some people be like, that's gambling. No, it's not. I have realized it is not gambling. I knew it in my gut.
Yeah.
Like I knew I was going to move from Canada to California.
Yeah.
I knew it in my gut that there was a system to this. And I went and I learned it. I hired a coach. I did it. Now I partnered with a big firm, and
again, speed. We're coming back to speed.
100%. And
right?
I don't know where my company will be in 5 years from now. I'm going to try and exit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to try and exit.
Yeah.
And figure out what dynamics next.
So let's talk to the woman who's in this place where, let's say if you're starting completely over right now, Okay. And you kind of had to in the last couple of years. Well,
Kind
you
of.
didn't
I mean,
have
we're
to,
still,
you were doing very well.
Yeah, we still make 8 figures, but there
Right.
were no no
Right.
profits.
So what would you tell someone? Obviously, speed. Would you tell them to diversify? Like, what
No.
advice would you have?
If you're broke, don't diversify.
Correct.
Just
Okay.
like if you're starting a business, don't
Get
have
known for something.
Don't have. You don't even have to get known anymore. You just need one product, one platform, 1 million, right? And you can do that.
That sounds so simple.
But it
right?
is. The problem is people will start to run a webinar, learn video, whatever your platform is, and they find it didn't work,
And then they just stop and go do something
and they
else instead
somehow-
of trying to figure out how to make it better.
That's exactly it. And that's
Amen.
the pivot.
Yeah.
And that's where leadership comes into play. Like, we got to mature up. Like, we didn't walk the first time we walked. My little baby is flipping over. He's flipping over before he scoots.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like, this is all natural, but we seem to forget this. So it's like, I don't have enough time. You don't have enough time not to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I took a week and a half to learn how to enter a trade in crypto, how to enter and how to exit one thing.
Yeah.
Right?
How much time did you spend during that week?
A lot.
Yeah. But you're
I
like,
mean-
I'm going to know it. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to move
A lot.
on.
I found myself 4 hours at a time sitting in front of the computer studying and learning it and doing it wrong, a few times. But my coach told me how to do it right,
well,
and
that's
fix
how
it.
we learned, going back to little baby.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I would say if you're starting all over, if you're not a serial entrepreneur where that you're a serial entrepreneur because you always somehow land on your feet.
Yes.
Okay, that is like you win somewhere, somehow. You find a way.
Throw it down and it always lands, right?
You find a way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so if you're not a serial entrepreneur, then I'm going to say build a revenue stream now. And so it takes so long to feel comfortable. This is all leadership again, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel comfortable about charging what you need to charge to make your $500,000 or your $1 million or your 200,000? Or do you want to go live really, really brass nuts and make a couple $100,000 and use some of that to invest? Right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think people should try and grow businesses necessarily anymore. Unless you're a serial entrepreneur that God made you that way.
Yeah.
I think
you can't imagine anything else.
I mean, listen,
Like,
lead
you have
gen
to do
and
it.
affiliate product. Lead gen, affiliate with you.
Yeah.
Or lead gen and go look at affiliate companies out there, networks. Find a product that pays you $1,000 or more for an affiliate product and just lead gen a community of people that you would love to do life with, that you don't have to pretend to be somebody else. Like, if you're into God, I'm into God. I talk about God all the time, right? If you're an atheist, then go ahead and just talk about God's not real, right?
Yeah.
If you're
Just go find your people.
if you're a transgender person, go be a transgender person. Like, whatever it is that your thing is, like, just be honest about who you are, build a community of people that are just like you, and find affiliate products that pay you $1,000 or more. Get a revenue stream. And then don't stop there. Go find somebody that can teach you crypto or stocks. You don't need, I'm not a Wall Street girl, but now I feel like I could have been because my confidence has grown by just learning it over the last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think about the knowledge that I have that, gosh, I hope I can instill into my daughter, who will know much more than I will, but just the wisdom exchange, right? The knowledge exchange and how I didn't know any of this stuff when I was growing up. And so I think the exchange of wisdom right now and how quickly we can get it. Like, you can learn anything. Shanda. It's really incredible.
You can, but
But you can't embody it always.
Well, yeah, but I just think, I feel a little lucky right now being where we are, that we got in and we stayed in and we got here. And I don't want to discourage anybody who didn't.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's always a strategy. But we know how to generate online, and it is responsible for us to help people really do that and get a clear vision in front of them. Like, this is a sowing and reaping universe, right? It's sow and you get a harvest, right? And so I think if somebody truly doesn't, if they're like, I want balance, you should just get a revenue stream.
I have never heard that before.
Yeah.
But it actually makes sense.
It also,
because it's also work. It's a lot of work.
You'll see pressure leave somebody.
Yeah.
If they don't have to think about pricing, they don't have to team.
Ops,
they don't have to think about their product.
Yeah.
They don't have to think about fulfilling. I mean, let's be clear. If somebody already has a really good sales page, a really good offer and they sell it really well and they have a certain close ratio and all you have to think about is sending traffic to them, you could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be one thing that you need to learn.
People have been doing that for years.
100%,
Yeah.
but it's a great move. But then take that money and invest it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we are going to step into brilliant or BS. So, Shanda,
Yeah.
in this segment, I'm going to say a phrase
Okay.
and you're going to say brilliant or BS, and then you have to give a quick why.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, got it.
All right. Sharing your faith publicly will hurt your business.
Brilliant.
Okay, why?
Because you want people who don't resonate with you, you want to turn them off.
Absolutely.
Make sales easier.
Okay, you need a massive following to create massive money.
No.
BS?
BS.
Okay, and why?
I mean, you just don't. I see it all the time every day. Somebody has 400 people on an email list and I'll watch them make $60,000.
Okay. Women over 45 are too late to reinvent. Like, why is that even on here?
That's crazy. BS.
Okay. Hustle is the only path to success.
Ooh. I'm gonna say brilliant.
Okay. Tell me why.
I'm gonna say brilliant because I think hustle's got a bad name. Wouldn't you love to love something so much you pull an all-nighter because you're so obsessed?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I have to tell you, I couldn't sleep lately because I'm launching the Brilliant Women Network and I'm so excited about it. I can't sleep. And like to have that.
That's
like,
a privilege.
I don't want to go to bed. I'm like and it's like, that's so fun. And it is a privilege.
Work is
for
a
sure.
privilege.
And I am working more than ever. I told my husband, I was like, I feel like I'm in startup mode again.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
I mean, it's
love
better
it.
than sitting in a Starbucks wondering.
It is. Okay. Intuition is more powerful than strategy.
Oh, these are hard, Keri. BS and brilliant. Intuition wants to keep you safe. So there is a need for that sometimes, right? But strategy, there's just strategy that works. So I don't know. Can I plead the fifth on this one? It's kind
Okay.
of both.
All right. Charging high ticket is manipulative.
Oh, that's BS.
That is so BS, right?
If you can get somebody from victim to victory so much quicker than you could have before when you first started. So you shouldn't be paid for that. I mean, speed, money loves speed.
Right. That's right, girl.
So if you can create speed quicker, why should you get less money because you can get them there faster? That makes absolutely no sense.
It's funny because I hear things that are like, oh, well, why would she get paid for teaching that? I'm like, and why would she not be worth that? I'm like, if she can get you to a place that you could not get, like all day, every day.
100%. And who cares how much it takes you to get there? Just get there.
Yeah. Well, you are such a beautiful example of that with little Zion. Right?
Yeah, little Zion.
Oh, so cute. Okay, I don't know about you, but when it comes to looking good and feeling good, I want to know what you're using. And I am on a mission to bring you the best products, services that I can find that make you look better, feel better, and make life a whole lot more fun. And this week, I'm sharing with you this amazing brand called Happy Soul. We all know biohacking. We've heard of red light therapy. Well, this brand is taking it to a new level with products that are affordable, that make you look and feel amazing. I got introduced to this red light therapy mask a few months ago, and I'll tell you, I'm obsessed. Now, as I'm maturing, I am seeing things on my skin I don't love, like fine lines, melasma, spots. Thank the Lord for hair and makeup, I tell you. And this red light therapy mask, I know I'm looking so sexy right now, is really incredible. It has become one of my go-tos. It has multiple different lights that you can use for different results that you're looking for. If you have acne scars or you have inflammation, it has different types of lights. I use the red light because I'm trying to reduce aging, but it really is amazing. I love this red light therapy mask, and you can get it today for 15% off. I know, you're so welcome. All you have to do is go to shopbrilliantly.com and use the code Keri15, Keri15, and you get 15% off all of Happy Soul products. Now, my promise to you is that I'm not going to bring you a product or service that I do not know, love, and trust. And I have loved this brand, and I know you will too. So if you're looking for ways that keep you looking and feeling your best, check out happy soul, and use the code Keri15 at checkout. Shanda, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. Anything you want to leave? If there's one brilliant moment in your life where you're like, this was like the brilliant moment for me. I know you've had so many. Like, what would it be?
I'd be having this little boy.
Yeah.
Realizing that I am more resilient than I think. And I think more people, if they to just do an accounting of what they've overcome versus what they've lost, they'd realize that we're all pretty resilient. And when you start to build your character, like you start to own your character of who you are, I don't know, you're all pretty remarkable. I think I'd like to leave people with that.
I agree. That is the brilliant takeaway. First of all, speed for me too.
Yeah, speed's everything.
Speed. And you're brilliant. Thank you so much for watching the Keri Murphy Show with the amazing Shanda Sumpter. Next episode, we're going to get down and dirty. We're going to be answering your questions. So make sure to ask them, bring them in. I can't wait to answer those for you. And as always, remember, my friend, to keep dreaming it, living it, and being it brilliantly.
The Keri Murphy Show. The Keri Murphy Show. The Keri Murphy Show. The Keri Murphy Show.
Because even though you might be in a place where you're starting over, you're not really reinventing, right?
Well, and I think we all, especially if you've been really good at something for a long time.
Yeah, it's scary.
To think of it being applied in a different way can really stop you in your tracks.